Hi, I'm Lawson. I'm a writer and YouTuber. My content appears on Medium.com, WordPress.com, and I have a newsletter, Substack. I also am on my videos are on TikTok and of course YouTube. And my podcast is on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I have this problem where I want to avoid conflict, so I tend to hold in anger for way too long. And the bad thing about that is it messes with my health, headaches, chest pains, stuff like that. And then when I finally do explode, um, it's over the top. You know, more hurtful than I need to be. Uh, when I was a teenager and got in fist fights, I get more violent than I needed to be. It's just not good. It's expressing anger is not a bad thing. You need to express your anger. You need to let it out, but you need to let it out in a constructive way doesn't cause harm or not too much harm. I mean, you're always going to hurt someone's feelings when you express your anger, but there's positive and negative ways to doing it. Because rage breeds more rage. Anger, it just you don't you don't want to release your anger to the point where the other person's just gonna hold in the anger and release it back at you at some point. You know what I mean? It's just people have to. We all have to figure out ways to handle our feelings and our emotions better, because it's just there's just a lot of rage, a lot of outrage, and especially the internet, social media. The algorithms just stoke rage because it causes more click-through rate, more clicking and staying on, so you can watch the ads more and stuff like that. It's a dopamine thing. So this is something I'm working on in my own life, controlling my temper, and I'm a lot better than I used to be. I'm a lot more mellow than I was when I was younger. A lot more. So just don't, like I always say, don't wait until you're in your 60s to learn this stuff. Make changes now. Control release your feelings. Don't hold it in to the point where you're making yourself sick, or holding it in so long that when you do erupt, you're needlessly destructive. Don't be afraid to tell people how you feel. A lot of people make comments that they have family drama, and their families, they feel their family's not treating them right, and a lot of times families take you for granted, and a lot of times it's not conscious what they're doing. Because they always, like, especially my parents. My parents were like that. My dad was, in particular. He never saw the adult me. See, I was in my 50s when he passed away, and no, I was in my 40s. And and he always saw me as a teenager. you know, because he'd always reference stuff that I did back when I was in my teens or 20s. And here I am, a middle-aged man, don't even think the same way. But he didn't, you know, so they're always gonna see you. They're not gonna see the adult you. They're always gonna come at you as a kid. And you have to let them know you're not a kid anymore. And try to avoid being destructive in your anger. But set them straight. And I know that sometimes avoiding anger and getting loud and vulgar and everything else, sometimes it's unavoidable. I know I've done it enough. But you know, I'm all for keeping the peace and being mellow and turning the other cheek. But sometimes you just have to rise up. So, leave comments, leave suggestions, share my videos to your socials, and please subscribe to my newsletter. Thank you a lot. I appreciate you, and I'll be making more videos today, or I'll attempt to. Have a good day.